also on the...
Welcome once again to this year's edition of Thrills and Spills. I'm Gary Lee alongside IndyCar, IMSA, GTP, Formula One veteran Derek Daly. But Derek, have you ever worked before a live audience like this?
Yes, but never a situation where people are eating, drinking, having a good time. Normally we're very serious when we do TV, but tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun.
Indeed, fun with midgets and sprints, stock cars, IMSA, GTP, Formula One. But first, some vintage auto thrill shows. Now, 50 years ago, they were big on fire and ice crashing through. Here's the human battery man. Love the helmet. That's an old Notre Dame football helmet he's using. Wonder how much he gets paid for that.
Still too fire. Look at this for a shock absorber test. Oh, doesn't quite get her on the roof.
And I do everything better in my BVD. Oh, vintage stock car racing action now. Driver's side down.
Driver's side down again.
This is the old rollover competition. You started this, didn't you? You raced those, didn't you?
This is where I started. In fact, that might be me.
Now here is Sleepy Trip. Makes a move to the inside. There's contact. And now some vintage midget competition.
In the racetrack, outside the racetrack.
Back to Ascot Park, it's P.J. Jones, our camera cut to the inside. A slide job, more contact. Now remember, this is back before roll bars and roll cages, and the driver climbs out.
No
He's
seatbelt.
Okay. Now this is no way to try to drive a race car, Derek.
Now, this is no way to park a race car.
And now, Ernie Irvin got this ride. This all happened in 1 week's time at two different racetracks, Bristol and Darlington.
How bad can things get? Remember, 6 days for everything you see here.
There was Derek Cope going out. This is Jeff Modine. Now he takes the spin. Now he works on Dale Jarrett. Now remember, this is all in a week's time. And now he locks up and dances with Kenny Schrader.
Absolutely not the most impressive way to try and make an impression on your new car owner.
But guess what? He kept the ride. A parking lot down the front straightaway. And there he is, calmly in the cockpit. We have a lot more thrills and spills coming your way, so stay with us. A great crowd on hand. We want you out there, too. This edition of Thrills and Spills, and so far, Derek, it's been rather mild.
It's been mild and tame, but coming up is some of the most spectacular footage ever seen in auto racing.
And once again, these drivers have what we call racing rheumatism, but no serious injuries from any of these racing altercations. Now the Big A Speedway with the modified stock cars, a bit of fire right there. Now sprint car action. Steve Beitler took the ride there. Steve Laney takes this ride. Makes a slight wing adjustment. Now watch this Ascot Park midget flip. That was Mickey Johnson, but watch this one, Ron Hazelton, number 11. We go from Ascot back to the Big Egg Speedway, and Ronnie Burks takes one out of the ballpark. More sprint car action now. Chris McDermott getting hit by another car.
Wild, wild rise here. Here's almost an act of nature.
You can't say that on television, Derek. You're not supposed to roll a stock car over. That'll bring out the red flag there. A hard, slick track here. That's what happens when two open-wheelers collide. That's where the wing takes some of the shock. Watch this, right through the wall. And look at this wild ride out into the pit area. Now watch the drivers trying to control these modified stock cars. You drove something like this back in Ireland, didn't you?
This is exactly how I started. In fact, very much like that guy in the orange car.
And like this?
And like that. I've been there.
But you've never been in a wing sprint car.
Okay, watch the wing adjustment that Mike Tweed makes right here.
Yeah, they won't handle when you run them like that. Now this is Knoxville, the famous Knoxville lightning fast half mile.
Watch this quick entry right into the pit lane.
That was not by design. More action from Knoxville. This is backing them in. That's what we mean. But we don't mean that, though.
Watch Jerry Rickard Sr. here go for the wild ride.
This is at Sioux Falls. Look at the abuse in the cockpit. Once again, Billy Kaiser at Sioux Falls. Steve Ziegler, number 33, lands upside down. Watch this triple flip down the main straightaway. This is at Knoxville.
Tommy James and Kenny McCarl.
Butch Hansen here. Bill Rook. Andy Hillenberg. That's Oklahoma Andy. And bye-bye out of the ballpark.
Rod Henderson.
This is the Huset Speedway. You ready to take a ride in a wing sprint car, Derek?
Here we have 4 into 1. Will not go.
Trying to occupy the same space on the racetrack. And look at the frustrations there in the cockpit, but once again, no injuries.
Watch Tommy James. Oh, ball of fire.
You can see the damage that the wing took. Car was on fire, but he was uninjured. There he catches the catch pin.
This is Brett Geldner.
Mike Jones rolls it easy over. Now watch these two cars get together. And there's the action. Look at this, Derek.
This horse is dead, but the bladder still works.
Well, now let's climb out, get out of the car. The driver's okay. The emergency crew runs over and look at the alky pour from that fuel cell.
And look at the fireproof clothing all those safety workers wear. Watch Rod Henderson here, out of the ballpark.
Here's the Speedway again. Another tangle here. He sheds the wing, and at least there's no wall to go over there.
There's Lyndon Johnson.
Into the catch fence. And he takes out a light standard. A double roll. Can you imagine the abuse these bodies have taken and how these drivers feel when they climb out of bed the next day? Now here's how you celebrate a victory. Kenny Hansen, but of course he didn't have to pay for the wing on top of his race car. The latest edition of Thrills and Spills, and we have more action coming up from Formula One, stock cars, and IMSA GTP, so stay right where you are.
The 70s, 80s, and 90s Sprint Thrills for just $59.95. High-quality excitement you won't believe. Visa and MasterCard welcome. Dick Wallen's best of the 70s, 80s, and 90s Sprint Thrills, just $59.95. Call 1-800-992-VIDEO now.
Serious when it happens, but we can look back now with the knowledge that nobody got injured and smile.
I'm not sure the car owners smile very much, but race cars are definitely disposable items. We're going to continue on now with mainly sprint cars and midgets.
Well, here's some World of Outlaw actions with Stevie Kinzer and Sammy Swindell at San Jose, but a Belleville midget over the wall, and
I didn't lose the handle. I just Sammy did one of his chicken shit moves like it.
more stock car action. Now watch this stock car get airborne and upside down. Look at the air there with that heavy stock car. More racing action now from Ascot Park, and Frank Pedregon heads the wrong direction.
This is Dale Jarrett. Watch this.
spins out of the lead. NASCAR modified, high horsepower, light race cars, and look at the parking lot.
Now we get to watch Ricardo Patrese present Frank Williams with a very used nose cone. First up, Phoenix.
Good in-car camera shot. And now to Raceway Park, the USAC sprint cars. This is Rick Howerton, loses the right rear and slides across the racetrack.
Look at the rear wheel, follows them all the way down to the pit lane.
And now from a fast track at Raceway Park to a faster track at Winchester Speedway, this is T.J. Nick. Once again, a violent crash, but he was uninjured.
Back to the IMSA cars. This is James Weaver in San Antonio leading the race. Rear wing brakes does a nice lazy 180.
Well, here is some Voice Grand National action from Indianapolis Raceway Park. The Kroger 200.
Down through the infield. How can he even see where he's trying to go?
He can't even see him. Now perhaps the most violent crash ever in stock car competition. Young Michael Waltrip at Bristol. Believe it or not, miraculously, he was uninjured.
Jay Cochran, Del Mar, crashed while in the lead. Ever see a Formula One car fly? This is the Ligier in Australia.
More action now from Ascot Park with the USAC midget. And still more. Look at the altitude. Now back to more of the wing sprint car action. Over the cushion. Hang on. That was at San Jose.
Back to Formula One. Thierry Boutsen again attacks the Ligier.
And back to Ascot Park, and that is Ron Sleepy Tripp. Hard contact with the outside wall. Driver from Wisconsin, Rapids, Wisconsin. In-car camera action. This is Phoenix. ARS competition. Colin Truman takes a 360. And look at this multi-car crash at the Belleville National Drag Racing competition. He's upside down. And there is Jeff Bloom breaks something. That's the car normally driven by Larry Rice, another ESPN expert commentator. That's at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Now, this is no way to... Now, watch this. Derek, you can't do this on television. And you're not supposed to do that on the racetrack.
This is the BMWs in Germany showing us how not to do it.
Now watch the fire. This is at Winchester Speedway, East Central Indiana. And this is Jim Mahoney was on fire. However, he was slightly burned. Back in action the following week. Mark Alderson, the red, white, and blue car. Bruce Field, the multicolored car that continues on. And Alderson has something to say. Hey, why did it happen?
Wasn't my fault.
The old palms up signal. Now watch Jeff Bloom. He slides across the start-finish line at Indianapolis Raceway Park after contact with Wayne Hammond. And this is John Meyer, the inside wall. This is Winchester, a USAC midget event. And Jeff Gordon gets rear-ended. More action, that one from Winchester Speedway. Derek Daly and Gary Lee as our Spills and Thrills continues. Stay with us.
Gary, it's amazing to me the violence of the impact and the punishment these drivers and cars take in these huge midget and sprint car races.
Well, of course, Derek, there's not much to come off to absorb the impact and the energy, so all that energy is transferred back to the cockpit and the driver, and since you like watching these sprints and midgets bounce around, since you don't drive them, we have more of the same coming up next. Now, watch the altitude here. This is Trey House in Bloomington, Indiana on a Friday night. Out of the ballpark. Another sprinter out of the ballpark over the fence.
Now, this is the 4th of July at Lincoln, Nebraska. Watch this driver blow a fuse.
Well, of course, this could close down the racetrack if it happened at night. Now, this is what happens when you lose the right front, Derek.
This is Kinzer. He hits Herrera.
And Herrera slams the fence.
Here's the double flip.
A double flip at Knoxville. Once again, Knoxville, and again a double flip. Little contact right there, but there's more contact coming up down the first turn. Watch this.
Remember, the yellow car is going to make the pass.
Tries to make the pass. World of Outlaws, this will be Mark Kinzer with a 360.
And a wheelie. And he does it again.
360. Now watch Gary Bland. Gary Bland at Danville, Illinois, another 360. Then Dan Morton will loop it for a 360. And how about one more? This is Mike English. In the dust at Danville.
Look at Tony Jones.
More action from Knoxville. P.J. Jones making a move to the inside of Jordan Hermanstater. They make contact. Hermanstater stays on the button, and watch this. This is Ascot Park at the checkered flag.
Mark Kinzer we see again.
That's at Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio. That is Jeff Gordon. And that is Darrell Hall, both of those at Ascot. And that is Eric Gordon, also at Ascot, a prelim now to the Turkey Night Grand Prix. Look at this multiple flip action. Former USAC midget champion Kevin Olson goes over. Steve Knepper went over. And sometimes the start becomes a real mess. Long before the green ever came out. No mosquitoes at this racetrack. Oh, a little fire, though.
Look at that cockpit area. Now watch what happens.
Now he's going to spin to a stop and start to bail out. Actually, he almost put the fire out. Maybe he's headed for a fire extinguisher someplace. Jerry Meyer, Rip Williams at Eldora. They get together. Rip Williams finishes second in the CRA Championship in 1990. There's the red flag.
Now watch Rick Ambrose in the micro sprint.
Once again, this is at Danville, Illinois, running in conjunction with the CRA sprint cars. More sprint car action. A lot of midget and sprint car action there, but thrills and spills will continue. All you stock car fans, stay tuned. We have Winston Cup coming up next. Thrills and spills, and Derek, there's so much tension before a race, and every driver has his own way of handling tension. This was interesting.
Before the race is difficult. We found somebody who can handle tension during the race.
Now here is Dick Trickle in a Winston Cup race, smoking a cigarette. He has a cigarette lighter in the cockpit.
He lights a cigarette and creates some smoke. Alan Kowicki must have lit a pipe.
A pipe or a cigar. He creates all kinds of havoc. Now watch this. This is Daytona last July. Greg Sachs triggers his 20-car pileup.
Just look at the destruction of the Winston Cup car.
This is not Daytona. No.
Now, just in case you couldn't pick out your favorite driver's off day, let's have another look.
Once again, this is Daytona in July, the Winston Cup cars.
The drivers always have an excuse. But here's Greg Sachs saying to Jeff, But Jeff, it wasn't me. I was tagged from behind. It was somebody else. I promise you, it was somebody else's fault.
Bodine doesn't look like he believes it. Look at the artwork there from the tire marks. Now, inside the car, this is a look from inside Buddy Baker's car.
Nowhere to go. Look at he spins around the pit wall. Oh, there's major contact.
And more contact.
This is inside Dick Trickle's car.
Same wreck.
I presume he doesn't have a cigarette in his mouth.
Well, he probably swallowed it if he did. All right, several different looks at the same crash from Daytona back in July, but now we take you street racing, and this is ARS. P.J. Jones, the red number 21. He's tapped from the left side by Paul Tracy. This is at Detroit.
John Myers.
And now we're back to midget competition. This is John Myers, and look at the ride he takes. Angel Park Speedway, but John was okay. The Chili Bowl, yeah, the Chili Bowl in Tulsa.
Back to P.J. Jones. Watch him attack Robbie Groff.
He just flies over the nose. And here comes Dick Pohl, number 25. Once again, this is at Tulsa.
And again at Tulsa.
Probably the best indoor dirt race.
Formula One, Nigel Mansell, big time lose, trying to get by Gerhard Berger.
This is Denver, and look at this. There's your ARS champion, Paul Tracy, against the tire barricade. Head on.
This is a French kiss. Oh,
From P.J. Jones' car.
Robbie Buell. Let's go back to the cage cam back at Ascot Park.
Where he almost goes over. P.J. Jones has the cage camera. He almost rolls it, but lands right side up against the inside fence.
This is Ascot Park again.
And P.J. against the outside fence this time. There's Frank Baldozier, once again at Ascot Park. That's why these cars have a roll cage, the harness.
The other end of the world, Australia, Ricardo Petresi gets it all wrong.
More IMSA GTP competition.
Drake Olsen, while leading.
Look at this Busch Grand National crash. More Ascot Park action.
The midgets are ever spectacular. Over she goes.
Another test of the roll cage. That's Kofer out of the Ascot Park. P.J. Jones also involved there in the American Racing Wheels number 21. Another edition of Thrills and Spills. Derek, what do you think?
I have to admit, about 5 years ago, Gary Bettenhausen tempted me to drive his sprint car. Having seen this, I think I made the right decision not doing it. But I have to say, whoever has the concession for selling aspirin for drivers and team owners out of these racetracks, he's got to be a millionaire.
Well, of course, your career has included Formula One, Indy cars, IMSA, GTP, but it all began on the grass in sedans in Ireland where you did get upside down.
But happily, nobody caught it and took it to the edit room.
We thank our friends here at the gallery in Danville, Indiana for hosting us this evening. For Derek Daly, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. So long, everybody. Spills and Thrills continues here on ESPN with Derek Daly and Gary Lee. The impact is transferred back to the compact.
It is spectacular. Race cars are disposable items. We're not.